I am going to talk about a couple of things. Why Walt by Disney is destroying the movie industry. Yeah, you're not hearing, you're not dreaming or anything. I didn't just say that. I did just say that for the why in this video I'm going to talk about why Disney Studios is destroying the movie industry. Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, lately I'm not really going to get into too much movies, but I'm going to talk about why it is destroying the movie industry with a very introspective review of this. Okay, so I'm just going to give a little history of Walt Disney. Okay, it is a multi-billion-dollar juggernaut. Do I need to say anything else? Probably not. Not as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it is the leader, the number one money maker in the movie industry right now, especially with an oversaturated market of superhero movies like Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, and so forth. It is the backbone of Walt Disney, and that is the reason. One of the reasons why I think that Disney is destroying the movie industry because a lot of movies that have come out recently are not getting any attention because people don't. For one, they don't listen. For one, it's Rotten Tomatoes because if Rotten Tomatoes is the be all end all of movie critics, then most people will probably not go see that movie. And because another problem is because superhero movies like Avengers Endgame, we all love Avengers Endgame. We all love the Avengers movies. We all love the MCU because, but we don't see the big picture here. We don't see that Disney reminds me of like kind of like Donald Trump in a way. Walt Disney Studios kind of, and the MCU kind of remind me of like a virus that goes around swallowing up other franchises, and it's like a xenomorph from Alien. It basically devours franchises and it adds them to their own organic makeup. Basically, what I'm saying here. So the reason a lot of movies are not doing well because people are just not interested. They're not interested in going to see action adventures no more. They're not interested in seeing buddy cop movies anymore. They're not interested in going to see the latest DCU movies. I mean, DCU is lucky enough to even have an audience because it has had a moderate success recently with such films as Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Shazam recently. But this is the media juggernaut, and with Avengers Endgame being the biggest box office film in history now over Avatar, because I'm going to tell you guys a little story, a little more of a little analysis, which is what this video is about, what I think happened. I think Disney just basically, they're greedy. Another thing that's wrong, they are greedy, and they're not in it for the art form. They're in it just to make money. They're in it to soak us up like a wet sponge and just steal our wallets. You might as well line up and give our wallets away to them, because that is exactly whenever there's a new MCU movie, we start getting these videos online of all these different theory videos about, oh, this is what the Avengers are going to do next. Oh, this is what this is going to happen. This is what this movie. This is the reasons why this so and so happened. So, social media, YouTube bloggers, and Rotten Tomatoes, and because people just don't think anymore. I'm not trying to insult people on this video, not this one. I'm not saying you guys have a very low IQ. I'm just saying you might want to listen to your heart and or your instincts here. Okay, it doesn't have to be. People are not interested in going to see movies about Vikings. They're not interested in seeing movie about swords and sorceries. They're not interested in seeing stupid teen romance movies anymore. They're not interested in seeing the latest Rush Hour movie. They're not even interested in seeing Dwayne Johnson. But by the way, Dwayne Johnson has an offer or his future with the MCU already. And another reason why it is destroying the movie industry, because Latest evidence of that is because Dwayne Johnson is rumored to wanting to join the MCU, and Henry Cavill has also expressed his desire to join the MCU because it is the number one. Just like when Lawrence Fishburne jumped ship from the DCU to the MCU because he knew that they'd make better films. The groundwork is laid a whole lot better. The characters are more fleshed out. The stories are better, and there's more build up. There's more explanation of what's going on. Um, there is more things going on that make all these franchises way more appealing than your average movie by the DCU or your average Lord of the Rings movie. Even though we haven't had any of those recently, but so it doesn't give studios much of a chance to market their and marketing. That's another. I don't even want to get into marketing because marketing is another reason why Disney is killing the movie industry. Because I understand it seems to be like Disney wants to buy up every franchise. I mean, I'm even gonna go far as to say that they would even have their eye on the on Toho Studios and the Godzilla franchise. I know I'm a little bit far fetched when I say that, and I know I probably need maybe a couple of aspirins right now just from thinking about all this, or some Tylenol just from thinking of brainstorming this whole video because it kind of bugs me. It kind of bothers me about this stuff because yeah, I love the MCU, but it people don't see the big picture here. That it is destroying the movie industry. Movies don't get a chance. They get a wide release. They get lose and on marketing costs. And I'm not talking about the Dark Phoenix because the Dark Phoenix, I realized, yeah, the Dark Phoenix was garbage. Okay, I get it. I understand. I was really nice about it. My video about my review of it, but I see behind all of that. Yeah, that movie was no good. It was just a mess. And it also has something to do with the acquisition of Fox, because you see what I'm talking. You notice the trend here that they are buying off studios, they are buying off franchises, they are buying off all that. Not to mention all the properties that they're getting. Not just I'm not just talking about the X-Men or Deadpool or Fantastic Four. I'm talking about not. There's other Fox properties that I'm not even thinking about right now that are now belong to Disney. And Disney is kind of like one of those tyrants that wants to take over the world. They want to. It kind of reminds me of one of those Warner Brothers cartoons. I just want to take over the world. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's very animated, like what I just did right now. So Disney kind of reminds me of one of those viruses that are those xenomorphs that infects the movie industry and adds every franchise to its own makeup, to its own empire, and it is buying off and that's why a lot of movies. That is the reason why a lot of movies are failing. A lot of franchises like the Dark Universe failed. Call that a fail. The DCU, call that a fail. And I don't even want to mention other movies that have fallen by the wayside because and so the MonsterVerse has just barely made it to be able to come back and do a to release Godzilla vs Kong. It just barely made it by that much to actually make its budget back, to actually make enough movies, enough time on the box office to continue with the MonsterVerse. So that is, it could have been a casualty, yet another casualty of Avengers Endgame. And all I've been hearing since before Avengers Endgame, since before Avengers Infinity Wars, Avengers this, Avengers that. What's Thor gonna do? What's Black Widow gonna do? What's the Avengers gonna do next? What Captain America? What happened to Iron Man? What happened to blah 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 blah? So all this stuff has really gotten to my head. It really irritates me, and Disney is destroying the industry because when you have that much money, you have that much power to buy off other franchises and other movie studios and basically sabotage other movies that don't have a whole lot of expectations for moviegoers, then I mean, you got an infection. You got yeah, you got something that the world can do without. Yeah, I understand that we all love. I kind of think that after Avengers Endgame, the MCU has pretty much plateaued. There's nothing else they can possibly do. That for me, Avengers Endgame was my Endgame. I'm gonna talk about that in my next video though. But so these are the I just gave you guys the reasons why I think that Walt Disney is destroying the movie industry. Disney Studios is destroying the movie industry because people are just not interested in seeing anything else besides superhero movies, besides the latest movie from the MCU. And movies don't get a whole lot of a sporting chance to make their budget, much less marketing cost and a wide release because of the MCU. And yes, we love the MCU. I love what I kind of have a love-hate relationship with the MCU right now, and head honcho Kevin Feige, because I think these are the reasons why it is destroying the movie industry, because movies are just not going to get any attention and people are just not interested. They got um, their heads so far up Kevin Feige's behind that you could not you couldn't get Captain America's shield out of it to, you know, out of his head, out of them, because it is a known fact, and there is evidence. You see it every day when a movie, because I already knew that Dark Phoenix was going to fail anyways, but you see it that it was going to fail also because Avengers Endgame was still in movie theaters and it was still making that money, and because they had it. It is also pride. I think it is also just greed, and just plain greed, that they re-released Endgame because they didn't make that. They wanted to outsell the box office with Avatar as the biggest box office hit of all time, and they finally did it. And I hope they're happy. But there is a negative in all this, that it is killing the movie industry, and studios just do not. A lot of people, you're noticing the renaissance from a lot of actors are going to the MC because that is where the ticket's at. Like recently, Salma Hayek, David Harbour, who did Hellboy. By the way, that's another casualty of the MCU. Even though Hellboy, I would like to review that. I just want to just tear that movie apart. And Angelina Jolie just joined the MCU, and even Rachel Weisz, seasoned actress Rachel Weisz, and a lot of other actors that I'm not remembering right now have joined the MCU. You notice that? You notice there's a huge paradigm shift happening right now in the movie industry, and it is not exactly the most positive one. All right, on the comments below, let me know what you think about what I talked about in this movie. Do you agree with me that Disney is destroying the movie industry, and a lot of movies are and actors and studios are suffering from this? All right. I am still your reviewer, and I have the YouTube alternative, and I will see you guys real soon. Or like, you guys will hear from me real soon. All right.